Welcome, everyone, to episode 87 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide telephoto lenses? Is that what we really want to use?
Fisheye? Or, I don't know.
We don't know. This episode, we're going to be talking about Umurangi Generation : Special Edition by Origame Digital.
Oh, it is Origame. It's like origami, but it's game.
It's game, yeah, Origame. This game came out back in May of 2020. And as always, played this on the PC. I did. And it was a paltry 2.8 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
I don't know how this is possible. It is half that size on the Xbox One, clocking it at 1.4 gigabytes.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not the textures. I'll give you that much. There's not much over there, so.
Nope.
But what kind of game is this?
I have first-person photography.
Oh.
What do you have, Chris?
I put first-person photography game.
I think that's close enough that we nailed them.
Yeah. Yeah, we nailed it. It's fine. We're good. And what about that game loop?
Take a group of photos that match certain criteria to advance.
That's pretty good. I put complete objectives by taking pictures.
Yeah. I gave maybe a little bit more, like the objectives are that they have certain criteria.
Right, yeah. You gave it a little more flair, a little pizzazz. This is a game about pizzazz in a way, so I respect that.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Well,
that's all well and good.
What did you like about this pizzazzy game?
Well, the game had like an the intro music was pretty cool. I thought the soundtrack was kind of interesting. It fit the vibe of I think what they were trying to get at with this game, like the artsy kind of hipster vibe to it. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. I liked the idea of the objectives, and a take on first person, but not shooting.
Yeah,
like even the tutorial literally went through. It's like, oh, have you played a first person shooter before? I was like, yes. It's like, cool. So it's pretty much the same thing. That's what it said. I like that. And so it was very easy to pick up and do your thing. And the objectives I thought were kind of clever. I thought the whole idea of like trying to figure out what you wanted to, or how you're supposed to get certain objectives, right? Like in the first level, there's one objective where you're supposed to take a picture of like 7 birds.
Yeah.
But I was like looking around, I was like, well, I can't get 7 birds because they're like all spread out in a certain way. And then it's like you go to a certain elevation, certain angle. Oh, there it is. So what about you, Tom? What'd you like?
I agree with you on the music. I wrote that it was kind of cool in a chill sort of way.
Yeah.
I think the tutorial was good once I actually did view it.
Yeah.
I agree that there is kind of like the eureka, the aha moments when you figure out an objective, because you're standing there, you're trying to take a photo of the birds, for example, and you can see in your vision maybe 6 or 7 birds at once, but then you put the camera in front of you and it's like, oh no, I can only get 3 of them, even if I zoom all the way out. So this isn't going to work. So it's like, okay, well, you try to go further back, that doesn't work. It's like, okay, I need a different angle on this. So, I liked that they called those missions bounties.
Yeah. That's right. And the setting is a futuristic, almost like, I don't know, dystopian or something weird is going on in this world, this Umurangi generational world. So I don't know. I guess there's some sort of story, but I didn't really look into it
Yes.
that much.
I put in my likes that there's clearly something else going on besides just photography in the world.
Hmm.
Like aliens, maybe?
Yeah.
There's a question. There's these jellyfish, and you're not allowed to take pictures of them. I guess it makes your
Oh.
photos bad or something. But it's definitely one of those things where it just kind of dumps you in there, doesn't explain any of this, and then it's like they're going to explain it to you as you get through the levels. Like
Oh, yes, that's right. The Mana Wars, right? That's right. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Yes, they said don't take pictures of that. Got it.
And
Yeah.
it even said in the tutorial, this will be explained later.
Oh, wow. I totally missed that. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to bring up?
Uh, I like that you had the freedom to kind of explore on your own time and just kind of, go through the world, take photos. Like one of the photos is like take a photo of two boom boxes, and there are like multiple ways you can accomplish that. It's not like
Yeah,
there's only one place where two boom boxes exist,
right.
or like you need to take a photo of markers. There's not only one place where there are markers. So I
Hmm.
liked the freedom to, be creative and find different ways to solve the problem.
I remember when I was trying to take the picture of the boombox or the two boomboxes, I was like, okay, I think I got myself in such a weird position to get it. And then I like literally I turned the corner and I saw two boomboxes like right next to each other. And I was like, oh man. So yeah, I mean, in one way, yes, it is cool. Absolutely, that there's multiple ways to get to your the bounties. But man, could that be frustrating? And speaking of frustrating, let's talk about stuff that we didn't like.
Well, I'll tell you what was frustrating navigating the environment.
Oh my goodness. Yes. 1,000 times yes.
I was constantly falling off planks. I had no idea where I was standing because, Chris,
No feet. No feet. This game totally needed the feet. 100%. How were you supposed to know where you are, where you're balancing yourself? Like, especially when you're just like trying to get that perfect shot. Oh, like for the postcard pictures too. Like you had to be in some precarious situations. So come on,
yeah.
guys.
Speaking of other things that ticked me off, the tutorial isn't actually built into the regular game. It's kind of
Mhm.
sitting over there in its own little place. So if you
Yeah.
just start the game, it doesn't do a tutorial.
Right.
Um, so it's like super directionless, and like you have objectives, but it's like, what? Um, and when you have some weird indie game like this,
Yeah.
you really need to kind of explain your game to the
Yeah.
person when they're first playing it. So if the tutorial is there, I really feel like it needs to be mandatory in this case. Like I should not have
That's
been
fair.
able to start the game without playing you tutorial, especially since how long did that tutorial take? I don't know,
Very long.
90 seconds. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
long at all. So I don't know why you wouldn't have just put that, right when
Yeah.
you
Or,
start the
or like
game.
when you start the game, it says, have you played this before? Is this your first time playing kind of thing? And then guide you to the tutorial. That's
Yeah.
all. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's messed up. And just to like piggyback again off of the navigating, like my goodness, jumping in this game was so frustrating, incredibly frustrating because like there are certain times you can double jump for some reason, and then certain times you can't. And then there are platforms that like it looks like I'd be able to jump up on them. No, the game just says no. And then meanwhile, I'll go to a certain area and like all of a sudden, like I will just be flung into the air for no apparent reason. I'm like, how did that happen? I don't know.
Physics or lack
Physics.
thereof.
Yeah, for sure. I also want to say for a game that's like all artsy, fartsy or whatever. I didn't think the game looked very good.
No, I'm right there with you. I put the art style and level design are yucky.
Yeah,
Like they
it's
look and feel gross.
yeah, it was maybe it was like they tried to make it so the game was made with the Super Nintendo, like like that those kind of 3D objects are because it looked bad. I cranked up all the settings and it still looked not great.
Yeah, it definitely needed more like textures, like a lot of surfaces and stuff like that. I noticed like maybe stairs. You couldn't even tell they were stairs. They were all just the
Yeah,
same texture, and it's like,
yeah, a lot of jaggies and like just like everything just looked very unpolished. Like this isn't I don't know how to explain it because like this isn't kind of game that will look great later on. And it already doesn't look great. And I like I felt like this was like some bizarro version of like Jet Grind Radio.
hmm,
Like but oh, it just didn't cut it for me. I don't know. Not cool. Like they could have just done that like some cell shading
yeah,
and that would have been cool. I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean, if this was done stylistically,
Yeah.
it was not a good choice.
Yeah. I'm sorry, folks, but yeah, it's not a very good looking game for a photo game.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
Well, anything else you want to bring up there on dislikes?
Uh, it wasn't obvious to me how to end the level when I got when got all my bounties together. I there was a green circle somewhere, and I was like, oh, I guess I got to go there. And like I ran up to the green circle, and then the game didn't end. And like I tried to press a bunch of buttons, and nothing like made the game end.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay. From here, I see some other objective that I need to go to, and
Yeah.
from there, I go and I hit deliver. But it was definitely not obvious the first time I did it.
No. Yeah, it's a shame. It's because it was the concept is really cool, I think. Like because Pokemon Snap, for example, is still a game that's on rails, right?
Yeah,
You're not free roaming the world.
right.
So like this this was like had kind of the objectives of Pokemon or Pokemon Snap where you're trying to get whatever pictures, whatnot, but you were able to navigate the world however you please. And that's cool. They just didn't execute properly, which is a sad, sad thing. But before we get to our um thoughts, our final decision, I do want to mention that How Long to Beat says this game takes about 2.5 hours to beat.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know about that because I only did the first two missions. They took a while, and like that's the other thing. They had the time limit, the 10-minute time limit,
Yeah.
and I blew through those just looking for these friggin' objectives, and it was a shame. What about you, Tom? Did you have that problem?
Yeah, in fact, the first I played the first level, couldn't figure out how to end it, and then like restarted, like quit out, went did the tutorial, then came back to the first level. This time now I knew where things were, so I was able to do it
Yeah,
in the time limit. Um, but yeah, I got to the second level also, basically finished the second level, and that's where my time was up. So
yeah,
same kind of deal. In terms of my other thoughts, like I definitely think this game is like one of those weird fringe sort of games that
yeah.
I could see some people like loving this game. Like, oh
Right.
my God, this is my favorite game that's ever been made.
Yeah.
I'm a student of photography and this game speaks to me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They nailed all that stuff too. Oh man, I could have said this in the likes, but like the photography part of it, I think they nailed very well. Um I guess I have a question. What developer do you think would do a good job with this kind of game? Minus the Pokemon Snack company game. Who's that? Namco, I think does that now. But
I feel like this is a game that would lean well into something like bright and colorful,
yeah,
and
just
yeah, I
trying to
don't
think
know.
who would be good.
It is kind of a weird kind of game, so it makes sense that a company like Nintendo, right,
Yeah.
would live in this space, would have a game in this space.
Hmm.
I think of Fatal Frame, right? Fatal Frame was
Yep.
a photography game, but it was also horror.
Yeah.
Like I think you could there's a place here to take photography and then blend it with other genres to make
Yeah.
something interesting.
I feel like Sucker Punch could do a great job with this game. Because I don't know if you've played Ghost of Tsushima, but they have a photo mode and everything. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely. Like literally, you could stop and take a picture of anything in the game. It it just looked that good. And like to have those graphics with this style of game, oh, it'd be ridiculous. It'd be so cool. But now, Tom, we got to tell everyone if they didn't figure this out already, but our final thoughts, don't we?
Yes.
But before we get to that, we wanted to let you know about our spectacular sponsor, Winner Winner. Winner Winner is a live arcade claw machine game available on Android and iOS, and it's 100% skill based. Trust me, if you see me play my games, you know I'm not that great, and I still have won games on my first try. There's hundreds of prizes, even featuring gaming merch from Nintendo. Pick your prize from choices in your particular game, or bank your earnings with tickets to redeem any other prize you want from their wide selection. And for all you lovely people listening or watching our show, you can get bonus tokens on your first app token purchase. Download and create your account, then use the link in the episode's description to enter promo code DALE after you sign in. Check it out. It's clawsome.
So, Chris, this is how I knew that this game wasn't for me. Okay, I was hunting for my last objective. The alarm goes off, right, and I just go, I'm done. Like this is not the way that I do things. Like anybody who's ever watched my streams or whatever knows that, like, okay, the hour's up, but like I want to save the game. Like
Yeah.
in case I want to go back to this or whatever. And I was so frustrated with this game. I was frustrated with trying to get the last objective. And I was like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even want to do this anymore. So I just turned it off. And so I've already uninstalled
it. Oh, man. Oh, that's too bad.
How about you, Chris?
For me, it was a neat concept. I'm glad I got to experience it at least once. But those controls just really, the controls and the style that they chose, the art style that they chose, just really didn't do it for me. Oh my goodness, the fact that that music really got grating, by the way, too. By the end of it, that was not good. It was not a good soundtrack. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a no for me. I'm not keeping this game. Sorry.
Sorry, Umurangi.
Sorry, Umurangi. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D or shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below and we promise to read and respond. Yeah, 1H1D is part of the QTV network, and if you like gaming podcasts, be sure to check out Quit the Build, a weekly gaming news podcast. Or to see the whole lineup, check out quitthebuild.com/network. So
you can find this show on there.
You could go watch the show and find it again. Why not? It'll be fun. But we got to find out what we're playing next, don't we?
Yes. We must do some research.
We must do some research. So, surprise me button is in ready to roll. So, here we go.
Let us be surprised.
Oh, okay. Hellblade. Senua, I think. Senua's Sacrifice.
Sounds good to me. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it is from what I've heard, a very like deep psychological third person kind of game,
Okay.
thriller game kind of thing. So, yeah, I've it's always been on my radar and I've always ignored it. So now's my chance to try it out because I've heard very good things about it.
Surprise me
So
button says you will ignore it no longer.
no more, no more. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.